Previously, on the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. The north of Faerun finds itself embroiled in chaos, as the long benign cult of the dragon has recently made a resurgence, and is actively pillaging nearby lands at the behest of Seven Sajarin, who is attempting to gather 5 dragon masks to release Tiamat from her prison in the Nine Hells. Meanwhile, 4 novice adventurers journey to the town of Greenest as caravan guards for the belligerent Nub McGrub. During said journey, they came to know Nub's bodyguard, Sebastian Crenshaw, and the reserved Marlowe Duskwood, who did their best to make the group feel welcome, despite Nub's foul temperament and overt self-interest. When the party reached their destination, they were greeted by the sight of a blue dragon that circled ominously over the town. Sensing the plight below, the party ventured further in, and soon arrived at Greenest Keep, where they became acquainted with Governor Naito and Castilian. From here, the party proceeded to work through the night, and saved many townspeople, whilst also driving back the nefarious raiders, which eventually culminated in a stand at the keep, and an ultimatum posed by the battle-hungry Lagdrosa's Cyanrath. Zark answered the Draconid's challenge for single combat, and fought a pitched battle, with the former eventually prevailing, thanks to the awakening of a mysterious new power. The raiders retreated after the battle, and the party were rewarded for their efforts. After spending a few days of rest, the party were besieged by Nessun Wilder to find his friend Leosin Elenfar, who was captured by the raiders during the attack on Greenest. Though they tried to access the camp through guile, Zark's notoriety undermined the party's ruse, and they soon found themselves captured, with Gwen narrowly slipping away to enlist help from Lyre and Grunch, who led a clan of orcs that wanted the raiders off their land. In the meantime, the party were interrogated by Pharaoh Mondav, and met Leosin, who seemed to have a plan of his own. However, the party's presence caused the orcs to take a more bold approach in rescuing the scholar. And now we return as the Tyranny of Dragons continues. Okay, we are back with more Hoard of the Dragon Queen. So I'm joined as usual by DoomPema, Elf, Sky, and Zach. So, no sound in D&D Beyond. Do you mean Roll20?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It's because I'm starting the music literally right now.
Oh.
Yeah, Doom literally just asked me the same question, so because I kind of thought a music change would be appropriate. So, you guys were captured last time, and as I was describing, you see a bunch of red lights just flare up on the ridge, and this orc just shouted "Start the attack" at the top of his voice. So, as this guy says this, the lights on the ridge suddenly start to rain down and set fire to several of the tents, and also striking quite a few of the kobolds as they land. You also notice at this point that the few orcs that are in the camp suddenly pull out their weapons, turn to the nearest cultist, and start attacking them. So, how are you guys reacting to this on the captain stand?
I am going to rage and try and break out of my current bonds.
Roll a strength check.
Advantage.
Advantage.
Raging specifically gives
Yeah,
that, I think.
yeah, I'll allow that. I think you might be right. But yeah, I'd say that maybe with raging specifically, that would probably we said with advantage, didn't we? So roll that again.
Yep.
Okay, so you initially just about break out on your first attempt, and then you just kind of pull your arms back as much as you can. You just yank again, and you manage to break free of your bonds, Zark.
All right.
So I would say as your... Oh, sorry, gone. Was someone going to do something else? Sorry, Zach, can you repeat that?
Are there any guards nearby?
So just as you see around you, there's quite a few people gathering around you, but everyone's kind of focused on the ridge in this specific moment. I'm going to say though, Zach, as you break out to your bonds, this orc here, who was holding up the knife, this guard drake turns around and bounds towards him and knocks him over. So he's now on the floor with this thing on top of him. The other orc that was with him is still stood behind you, not really doing anything at present. Does anyone else want to act?
Who was the person that was basically opened the doors beneath us?
So I would say that it will probably be. I'm going to just put this person here, so I'd say it's this person.
Do they seem distracted?
Yep, I would say so in this specific moment. Basically,
how are my hands bound?
How are your hands bound? Behind
Actually,
you.
it won't matter.
At the moment. Does that matter?
No, it won't. I'm going to use my one use of Misty Step. I'm simply going to step to the side, out of my shackles, and out of the rope I was in.
Okay, very good. Delman, are you doing anything in this moment?
Can I try and slip my bonds?
Are you trying to do it via sleight of hand?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
anyway,
well,
that could be a help action. Going on behind you.
Yeah, I would say that I'm going to let you assist this time, but I'm going to say that after this, Delman acts, Blaine acts, and then the next event happens, just so you know. Because this is all kind of happening quite quickly. Okay, so roll sleight of hand with advantage, please, Delman.
Sorry, I forgot to do something.
What did you forget to do?
Roll my rage thing.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
Well, I mean, do that now, just before we forget, because I did activate with your rage. Unfortunately, with those sleight of hand checks, you can't quite get out of your bonds, Delman. So you get protective lights. Okay, good to know. Right, so...
No,
actually, I can't do anything. Continue.
So yeah, Delman tries to slip out of his bonds. Arthur comes over to try and assist him. But I would probably say that at the moment that you're about to help him escape, after that, you kind of get distracted by an arrow that flies past you and is going for one of the cultists over here. So that kind of distracts you momentarily. Okay, Blaine, are you doing anything?
No, I'm trying to stay calm.
Okay, so you're not doing anything at the moment. So,
Nope.
Okay, so as all of this occurs, you start to hear really loud banging coming from seemingly all around you. It seems to be several bangs, like coming from this direction and also this direction. And I would say after about 10 seconds or so, you see the rocks from both here and over here kind of start to be they're not like blown out, but they're kind of like knocked back with a lot of force. And you see let me just so you see more orcs appear from here, also a few over here. And then finally, I mean, you might not be able to see them from where you are, to be fair, but I'll just put them on the map. So basically, a lot more orcs just going on the ground, and you just hear them go, "Roar!" And they start charging into the camp and engaging the cultists nearest to them. So I would say, as what was that? Sorry.
Question. The third group, are they on top of the ridge or are they down in that cave?
Which group are you talking about, sorry?
The third group you put in one on the north, one in the southeast corner, then one to the south, a bit southeast of me, but mostly south.
Are you talking about this group over here?
Yes, the one pinged right now.
Right, so the one with the kobold, yeah, he's on the ridge. Sort of like any on the dirt patch is on the ridge, so that also includes you.
Alright. Yeah, I am. I was just asking if this group showed up on the ridge or if they were in the cave.
Yeah, they actually came in. Curiously, it was the cave that the others were being held in, but yeah, that is where they came from. So, yeah, so basically all of these guys are moving forward. So I would say at the point where these guys burst through the wall, Gwen, you've kind of seen all of this unfold, and Lyra turns to you and says, I would probably get down there now if I were you. It seems that things are going to escalate quite quickly from here. With that, she grabs a bundle of rope that she has on her hip, and she's going to kind of like cast it down the ridge here. So I would say that it is quite steep, but if you were to slide down the rope she just provided, you'd probably be able to get onto ground level reasonably quickly.
I will do that.
Also, before you leave, she goes, "Oh, by the way, I believe you forgot this earlier." And she hands you the sack of gold that you left behind.
I'll just stuff it in my pack and not mention anything on it, but I'm going down.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say that you would slide down to about this spot here, Gwen.
Sorry, I didn't see that. Can you move my marker? Or?
Oh yeah, I can move it for you if you like. So, just about here. I'd say that this guy's actually distracted, so basically there isn't going to be anyone trying to attack you directly. So, yeah, the entire camp at the moment is just in sheer chaos. There's people running around screaming. There's there's a smell of thick smoke in the air. The smoke isn't impairing visibility, but it's definitely making the atmosphere more dense, and everyone around you, Gwen, seems to be in pitched battle. No one seems to be really looking up towards the ridge or seeing you descend. So I would say that you've got one more action before things move on again.
That Goddrake and Guy, are they outside the hedge or inside the hedge with me?
Which Goddrake, sorry?
A little to the right.
A little to the...
The marker has them on the hedge. Yeah, that one.
Let me... Oh, they're not on the hedge on my screen. I mean, if you're talking about these two here, they're kind of near to the tents. That I can see.
It's completely different on your stream. I'm just looking at stream.
Oh, okay, that's odd.
The way it shows up for me, I'm inside that side camp where the goblins were.
Oh wait, no, you're kind of...
I want to refresh your thing then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I'll just wait for you to refresh for a sec.
Oh no, now I have the right position.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, no one's immediately around you, so... I'd say that the Guardrakes and these guys will probably be looking towards the orcs who came from this direction up here. In fact, I'm going to actually move them a little bit closer so they're actually engaged with them. So, yeah, things look like
Now
this.
that makes a lot more sense because, yeah, to me that group where I asked about, they were in a completely different position.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, there's 2 tents to the right of me.
Yep.
And I believe it's about my movement to move up to them.
Okay,
Almost
so
over there.
so you kind of just move. So I would say that if you want to move up quietly, you have advantage on stealth given how much is going on here, without being noticed by anyone. Or are you kind of just more making a run for it?
A quiet run. Because I'm behind the back of guys that are fighting, should not be turned in my eyes. So
No, I would say, yeah, roll stealth with advantage if you're trying to move up quietly. Oh, yeah, you're fine. So, you move up very quietly. Literally, no one. You don't make any sound whatsoever. I'm just trying to think if there's anything I can really give you on a nap for this. I would probably say that as you move up, like these guys ahead of you, just start. I'd say that this one starts egging on this guard drake to maul this guy here, and this orc here shouts for assistance, which causes these orcs to kind of change their targets and come over here. So now there is quite a lot of attention on this specific area, but I'm going to say that because there's so much going on here, that you would probably be able to slip past this gang without any notice. So you'll be able to get to these guys without needing to roll a stealth check on your next round. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go back around to the other guys. So yeah, what are you doing now, Delman, Zark, Blaine, and Arthur?
What's this person here doing?
This person here. This person here is kind of just in stunned shock at the moment. He isn't really done anything just yet. He's a little bit busy with this orc here, who's kind of come over and started like kind of just like pushing him or pulling him away from the switch to lower the platform.
Okay. Did we ever see where they took our stuff?
So you saw your stuff as well as Max and Robert going over towards this cave here.
Zork's in a rage at the moment. He doesn't care, he's not got a weapon. First chance he gets is going to punch the nearest person. Well, the nearest hostile person, which I believe is that one that I pointed out earlier.
Okay.
Alright.
Right, okay.
I'll turn back to Arthur. We need to get our things.
Let's get you free first.
I've been no good in a fight without my staff.
Okay, I'm going to let you try once more if you want to try sleight of hand with advantage again. Right, okay, so once again, you can't quite get the knot at first, Arthur, but you just get the knack of it a few seconds later, and Delman is now free. Okay, Blaine, did you want to do something?
Delman, quick, can you get this bind off me?
Right.
I'll come over and try and get it off.
Okay. So, I would say if you're going to do that sleight of hand again with advantage, whichever one of you wants to roll Blaine, or I think it doesn't matter. Okay, unfortunately, yeah, you don't do it this time. Okay, so I think at this point, this guy over here is going to notice that you guys are freeing each other, and he's going to shout to these two guys over here and just say, "Stop them over there, they're trying to get away! We can't let them get the eggs!" And as that guy says this, Leosin's eyes widen, as if he just heard something rather surprising. So I would say that these guys, let me see what their movement is. I think it's probably going to be about 30 foot. So they're going to move up to you guys. And I'm going to say that we'll be rolling initiative in just a few moments, but I'm going to let... has everyone actually acted over here, by the way?
Yeah,
I think you have.
My next chance to punch this person.
Yeah, because you help think it. Okay, so Gwen, I'm going to say that you get one more action. So you just saw this guard drake and veteran run over towards your companions, and you can see that most of them have managed to free themselves at this point.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to move closer. My movement is only 30 feet, so I'm still
Okay, and as I said, because you got a nat last round, you can move up sort of near these guys without drawing any attention.
Pardon me?
Yeah, but that would be twice my movement.
Oh no, but what I'm saying is you can move sort of even out in the open and you won't be noticed just because, yeah, you got a stroke of luck essentially. So I'm just gonna have to prepare something here. So, Okay.
In general, does it seem like the people fight, well, the guard drakes and the other guys seem to be taking damage from the orcs?
Which
one?
one? Which ones are you referring to?
All of them.
All of them. Okay, so the one that I just moved towards you guys was, I would say that they've taken a little bit of damage. I mean, bearing in mind, not as much time has really passed yet because this is all happening quite quickly. I'd say in real time about, I don't know, maybe about 20 seconds have gone by, if that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that the guard drake and veteran coming towards you have taken a couple of hits. Yeah, I will take that into account. I'm just going to put them onto the order now, so just give me a second.
I moved my token at the distance I can, so I'm kind of trying to be hidden behind that tent and
yeah, so you're
from the fighting.
You're going
the
to
movement was free, so but I should still be in a position where the guy to my left shouldn't be able to see me because I'm on the other side of the tent.
Okay, so let's just put this in here. So okay, let's go back up to here. Right, okay, so I'm going to say that as Gwen moves over to here, these two guys, like this Vetch and this Gardrake, are poised to attack Blaine. But I would say that these 4 orcs here see what's transpiring and they're going to come and assist you. As well as these 2 orcs here, so there are 6 orcs in this fight. So let me just put them in actually. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so okay, so I'm just going to do initiative now. So 5 in. So we've got 4. So we've got 6 orcs and it's 2 guys. I'm just going to number these up. So 1, 2. Oops. 4, 5, and 6. And then finally, yeah, 7, 8 for these guys. So, yeah, that's right. Okay. Right, okay. And let me just put that in. Right, okay, so that is the order right there. Okay, so combat is going to start by this orc here. Is unfortunately, I think he's the one that was pinned down by the Gardrake, so he is going to roll an opposed strength check against the Drake. Let's get him up. So he has +3, and the other one has yeah, also has +3. Okay, so going to roll for orc. Okay, roll for the guard drake. Okay, so This orc here manages to push the guard drake off him. I'd say that he pushes him back about 5 feet. So he's going to go to the square here, which means he's able to move in here. And he has taken a little bit of damage. I'd say he's taken about, yeah, we'll say that much. So I'll just put it on here for him. Okay, and he's going to swing in to this guard drake here. So he's going to swing in with his Greataxe. So 5. So yeah, 20 will hit. Okay, and 8 points of damage. It has taken some damage already. So I'm just going to say it's taken about that much already. Plus this. Okay, so the orc pushes one of the drakes off, manages to move over, and swings into the side of this guard drake coming towards you. So it looks to be more hurt than more damage that you were able to do earlier, Arthur, but is still very much in the fight at this point. Okay, and with that, it is your turn, Arthur.
This orc here, is he in the battle or is he just reacting at the moment?
Let me just go back. Which orc do you mean? Oh, the one. Yeah, he wasn't really doing anything. I think he was probably going to. I think he was kind of like watching out to see if anyone was going to come near you, but he wasn't actively engaged with anyone.
Right. I want to hold out my hand and say, "Give me your weapon."
Okay, looks confusion. Roll persuasion check for me just to see whether he'll just hand it over. He looks down at you, Arthur, with a look of contempt, and he kind of like holds the axe towards you and then pulls it away just as you go to take it. He's one of those guys. Yeah.
This is no time for games. Get us free.
All right. Let's see. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Strength is nothing to write home about. Got one cast left. Let's double check this. Okie dokie.
Okay.
I am going to run my way down here then. And given that Blaine is still tied up, and that's this person who I've forgotten, I'm assuming he's also tied up.
That's Leeson, yeah.
Is he still tied up?
Yep, no one's tried to free him yet.
Yep. I'm going to try and free Leosin. I assume 10 didn't do it.
Unfortunately, no.
Actually, was he bound in the same way?
He was, yes. Actually, no, you're right, because he was kind of on that cross thing, so yeah, it's actually going to be a little bit trickier to get him out. Actually, no, because this is some sort of mechanism, I'm going to be nice and give you advantage, just because you might have... Yeah, this is kind of me being generous, really.
At least it's better.
I'm going to say, on a 14, you just about manage it. Just about manage to get out. You kind of feel that as you sort of like mess around with the mechanism, you can kind of like feel the tumblers inside it with your fingers, and for a moment it feels like you've jammed something, but it's just that the thing was a little bit stiff and you managed to just about pull Leosin free. As you pull Leosin free, he actually says something to you, Arthur. He says, we need to go into that cave over there.
Hey, did the northeast one, did he?
Yeah, he's pointing over to this cave.
Okay.
I didn't actually realize it was still here. We still have a chance.
Sure, whatever. Weapon. Run.
Yes, we... he's a scholar. He doesn't really know what to do in this situation, so he's kind of taking your lead, Arthur, just to let you know.
Okay, actually, how much movement did I use up when I came over?
I'd say, yeah, about
20
50.
foot.
So you've got 10 foot of movement left.
Okay, I'm going to move up beside him in front of his guard drake. I'd say I'd switch places, but that's a battle maneuver. I don't have those, so.
So you're kind of moving into the range of this guard drake here, just to clarify.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure that was your intention.
I've used my speech already, so I can't get his attention. I've used my actions. I'm just going to run my turn.
Actually, Leosin talked to you. You didn't talk to him necessarily, so we'll give you your interaction if you want to.
In that case, I will shout at the big guard drake. Probably not the best idea. On me!
As you do that, it turns towards you, with blood-red eyes, and it just stretches its mouth out in a wide grin.
He remembers
That's
you.
it, going after the squishy.
Hey, you literally asked for this, so...
Yep.
Fortunately for you, he's really far down the turn order, so you might be alright. Okay, so it is the turn of... Oh. Yeah, turn of this orc here. So this orc, seeing Leosin just got free, is actually going to run up next to him, and he's going to speak to you, Arthur, and say, me get this one back, safety. Pointing over towards the direction of that cave, and he also says, we wait outside. You catch up, then we attack. Yes?
I'll nod in response. Also, which one was that? Sorry, I didn't see that.
This one.
I mean, for the cave.
Oh, sorry, he's pointing to the same cave as Leosin.
Ah, right. Wonderful.
Okay, and with that, he's actually going to pick Leosin up. Because he is strong enough to do that, and he's going to use his movement to... He's just going to go around the back of the tent with him for now, just to stay out of the way of the conflict. And with that, that's going to end his turn. Okay, now it's Gwen's turn. And Gwen, I will remind you that even though you've rolled into the initiative order, these guys aren't aware of you, so if you want to attack, you will have surprise.
Okay, I think I'll try to use that. Also, I do have all my stuff on me.
You do, because you weren't captured. And remember, you had a long rest as well, if you had any spell slots to refresh.
I think I didn't, but I did that on the last session.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you.
So, yes, I'm moving around the tent and going for the guy that's next to Zark.
Yep, and as I say, once again, you will get to move just because this guy here is a little bit distracted by this guy right now. So he hasn't noticed you. These two guys back here are looking up towards this party over here. They're kind of firing down at them.
Okay, and I'm behind the guy, but he was already distracted. Anyway,
Yeah, he's already, they're facing away. They're kind of facing towards him, so it's. I suppose you could argue that they might catch out your peripheral vision, but no, this because you rolled so well on your stealth, they're squarely fixed on this one, and these guys over here are looking over there.
Well, I'm going to use Shillelagh and try and hope that my staff hits.
Okay, just to let you know, I'm treating all of these peasants as if they were cultists, just to make you aware.
Okay.
Okay, roll to hit, please, Gwen. Okay. So you did
23?
23? Yep, that definitely hits. And you did 4 bludgeoning. Okay, so how much did you have? I mean, it's something. But to be fair, considering what you're fighting, that's actually a good hit. So you come up behind this cultist, and you just give them a good whack on the back of the head, and yeah, they just stumble forward as you. Actually, I'm going to say that they stumble 5 feet away from here, which gives this orc an opportunity attack on them.
What about me
Yeah,
since
with
it's
that-
literally on me?
What was that, sorry?
Yeah, what about me since it's like literally on me?
If you want to, Zach. Actually,
Shit.
no, he's going into your range, isn't he? Not out of it.
But it's literally on me.
Actually, you know what? Because he's going to stumble onto you. I'm going to allow you to use your reaction if you want to like push him into the orc as he goes to his opportunity attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
I'll do
on.
that.
Yeah, roll strength.
Uh, 20.
Yep. Okay. So Gwen causes this guy to stumble forward. You go into him, and you sort of push him back towards this orc who's already in mid-swing. So this orc now is going to attack with the Greataxe. And I will double check, I'm pretty certain that hits. Yep, that hits. So then roll damage. I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, so 7 damage. So he's pushed back into this orc, and you basically just push him into the blade of the Greataxe. So the blade is now kind of like sticking out of him. And the orc just throws the cultist to the side, turns to you, Gwen, and just goes, good job, I guess. Okay. So, Gwen, anything else here?
Blaine is still bound, but is very much in the thick of things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be able to
Yep.
tell from your composition that Blaine is still bound. I think Delamain tried to free him last time, but couldn't quite manage it, so you can see that Delamain is next to him, kind of filling about, but not really doing very much at the moment. You can see that, you can quite clearly see this orc and Gardrake. I am going to say, just because of the spectacle that just happened, you won't have surprise on any further moves. Everyone is, well, at least these two guys here will probably be somewhat aware of it, because it's kind of like they could probably hear
Yeah.
what happened. Okay.
I used, was it 15 feet of my movement? I'd like to use another 10.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Alright, then I'm moving up next to Zark. And, like, between the orc that just praised me and Zark.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
orcs are
that is
families.
Yes.
Okay, so...
I am within range of that other cultist below the orc.
Yeah,
so-
the other cultist is fighting this orc at the moment, so I'm just going to say... Do you do anything else for your turn, Gwen?
No, I'm ending my turn there.
Cool. It's now your turn, Delamain.
Actually,
Oh,
yes,
sorry,
I
go
would
on.
like- Sorry.
Sorry, what would you like to do?
Zark, anyone hurt?
I just shake my head.
And I end my turn.
Okay, in that case, it's now Delamain's turn.
Okay. Would it be my whole action to try and break Blaine out?
I'm going to say so, yeah, unfortunately.
Alright, that's fine, I'll try it.
Okay.
Do you want to do sleight of hand again?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, this
Go.
time. Yeah, this time you kind of... You manage to free Blaine, and you throw... I'm actually going to say that as you sort of finish freeing Blaine, you actually throw the cuffs in the direction of the Gardrake, and it kind of slaps it across the face, doing some very slight bludgeoning damage. I'm going to just say maybe a d4. Okay, nice.
Damn.
You managed to hurt it probably more with that maneuver than you did mostly in that last fight. Okay, so you still have your bonus action and your movement, Delamain. Do you want to do anything else?
Yes. Can I As my bonus action, I'm going to convert some sorcery points into a spell slot.
Awesome.
I'll figure out how many it takes to do that, but that's my turn.
Okay, awesome. Right, in that case, it is now. Let me just it's here. So it is
Going down the M10.
yeah, it's M10. I'm just trying to figure out. I think I numbered this actually. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's actually. Yeah, I think that's actually supposed to be number 6. So, yeah, this is the point when you've got so many tokens, it's easy to get confused. Okay. So that is going to be, I think it might be one of the ones down here. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this orc is going to see this scene unfolding. He's seeing that the scholar is being escorted to safety by one of the orcs. He's going to speak to this orc and just goes, you go, guard! Puny man! And he will do that on his turn, but he's going to move up and he's going to try and take the guard drake's attention away from you, Arthur. He's going to do that by attacking it. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so 21 will hit for 12 damage. So he charges in with a battle cry. And as the guard drake is just looking at you menacingly, he just strikes it in the right leg. And that kind of causes it to sneer and turns towards the orc. So let me just deduct that from him. So I'd say that that's the first hit in which it kind of now looks like it is starting to... It looks like it's starting to get into the fight now. It didn't look too engaged before. Okay, so that's going to be Orc's turn. So now it is Zach's turn.
Did I hear the conversation about getting to the cave in the northeast?
I would say that these guys are shouting. Even with all the background noise going on, I'd probably say that... I think Leosin said that over here, so yeah, I'd say that you would just be... You'd be able to hear that even with all the noises going on around you at the moment.
Okay, then I would like to move up to there and punch this cultist in the face.
Who is actually looking towards here at the moment, as I mentioned, so yeah, you have advantage.
Up to the head then.
Yeah. So, unarmed... well, yeah, roll unarmed strike with advantage.
26.
Yeah. Roll once more to see if you can get...
we're doing 24.
Yeah, you're not going to get a crit, unfortunately, but... yeah, go ahead and roll your damage.
This is actually 8 because of the +2 from range.
Okay, I'm going to say with that, this guy is just shouting to their friend here, "We need to get up on the ridge to start attacking him!" And then as they end the sentence, you just smack him across the face. And I would say that you... Yeah, I'm not going to say you knock them back, but yeah, you almost... you kind of like dislocate their jaw if that hits, so they're kind of just holding their mouth at the moment, and yeah, they're looking pretty battered. You gonna do anything else, Zach?
That depends.
Depends on...
Does my fist count as a weapon?
If you mean in 2-weapon fighting, no.
No.
That's a monk ability.
Damn it.
You can't flow your blows. At least not until you're multi-class and... God, don't do that.
Fair enough. Nah, I'll end my turn after that. Then.
Okay, so now it is going to be this guy's turn. So most people would be a little bit worried being surrounded by enemy fighters, but this guy not really so much. So he is going to look towards this guy, the orc in front of him, and I think he is going to swing in with his long sword. Let me just get him up here. Okay, 25. Ooh, that's a crit actually. I'm just going to check to see if he... Yeah, he doesn't have any extra rules for crit, so it's going to be 1 extra damage dice, so that is going to be 8 plus 3. Fortunately, he rolled minimum damage. I'm just going to roll another 1d8 for him without the fire. So he's going to do 10 damage total to this guy in front of him. So he swings in with his longsword, and the orc is caught slightly off guard by how unintimidated by this scenario he is, and he takes a grievous blow to his right shoulder. And seeing that he's got this orc on the back foot, he's going to swing in a second time, once again with the longsword. On the second time, the orc manages to sort of catch his arm, and he just kind of throws him. He kind of like just throws his arm back, not kind of putting him off center, but just enough so the attack misses. Okay, and with that, he is going to end his turn, and we're actually now, it's actually this orc's turn, funnily enough. So this orc being quite close to Death's Door is going to attempt to attack this veteran back. His Greataxe. Let me just check if that hits. Meets it, beats it actually. So going to roll damage. Okay, and he takes 6 damage. He took a little bit of damage earlier in the fight, so I'm going to I'm going to say that he's taken this much. So okay, so he, like the guard drake, he's starting to look like he's getting invested in the fight, but he doesn't seem to be too worried yet. He still fancies his chances despite the odds. Okay, and that's going to end his turn, so now it's Blaine's turn.
I shout, we need to go to the cave, guys, come on. And I just run towards the cave.
Okay. Okay, are you going to do anything from here, Zach? Oh, sorry, Blaine even?
Nope.
Okay. So, does that end your turn?
Yes.
Okay. So then, turn of... yeah, I'm going to say that's number 5. Yeah, something I think's gone wrong with the turn order again, surprise, surprise. But yeah, I'm just going to say this guy... yeah, I'm going to say it's this guy's turn, so he's going to do as instructed by the other orc, and he's going to move up alongside Leosin. And I think that's all he's going to do for his turn. Then it's the turn of... yes, I'm going to say that. Him and... yeah, there we go, fix it. So, this orc here is probably just going to go to this guy straight in front of him, and he's going to swing in with his Greataxe. Actually, no, that doesn't hit, unfortunately. So he's just going to whiff. And now it is the guard drake's turn, this one here. So he's focused on this orc at the moment, since it managed to get a pretty hefty blow, and he's going to make an attack by a bite, which will hit for 7 damage. So that is going to sort of hurt him fairly badly. So he's just going to chomp into his forearm. The orc winces, but isn't really doing too bad yet. However, it does have another attack with its tail, which hits actually for another 5 damage. So it kind of gets slapped across the face of that. And with that, this orc is starting to look pretty gnarly. Okay, and then finally, I think the only one who hasn't acted is... Oh yeah, I think it was probably going to be this orc here that was next to when he's going to swing into this cultist in front of them. Let me just his thing on there. Okay, 7 unfortunately does not hit. Okay, so I'm going to say as we go to the top of the turn order, a few things are going to happen. So you see another volley of fire come down from here, well, fire and arrows, and a few of these guys are going to start going down. So I'm going to say that this guy, going to say that this one that you almost finished off gets finished off by one of these guys here, Kobold.
I am very annoyed at that.
Yeah, we'll get this one. And yes, basically all these guys have been taken out. There's other casualties around the camp. I probably won't go through all of them, but yeah, I'm going to say that this many people are being taken out, sort of in the fighting in the meantime. I'd say that they would have also taken out this guy. None of the orcs that are fighting seem to have gone down yet. They're all holding quite stronger. The cultists were really caught off guard by this attack. And with that, we're back up to the top of the turn order with orc number 1, who is going to make an attack against the Gardrake. Okay, that is a 14. Just double check its AC. I don't believe that hits. Unfortunately, does not hit it. Just bounces harmlessly off its armor. Okay, and it's your turn, Arthur.
Can I do a quick roll of perception, see if I can see a weapon anywhere?
With interaction, yes, go ahead.
Fuck's sake.
Unfortunately, on a 9, I'm going to say that, yeah, despite the fact that you kind of saw the start of this attack, you're kind of a little bit disorientated by everything that's going on around you. You can't quite focus your attention on any one place in particular because there's just stuff going, like there's literally people screaming, dying, being set on fire. So yeah, you can't really glean a weapon at this current moment.
To run or not? I am not in a good position.
I'm going to say that you will get an opportunity attack from the Drake if you do try to run. He's kind of got his attention on this guy, but he is still keenly aware of you at this moment. You did taunt him after all.
I'm not going to move out to his range. I'm going to move 5 foot.
Okay, so
then I'm going to use a bonus action to use my cast of Hex.
Oh, nice.
It doesn't have a save. Then I'm going to...
Who are you using
use
Hex on?
Grasp.
Are you using it on
the Gardrake.
On the Gardrake. Okay. So, Hex is basically extra damage, right?
Yes, I got concentration on it for up to an hour.
Awesome. Okay, and Shocking Grasp, is that a save?
Nope, it's an attack.
Yeah, I can never remember if that's a save. I think I might be thinking of Delman's attack now. Shocking Grasp. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that hits.
I'm rolling 2d8s.
It's extra damage dice.
2d8s, okay. I'll just roll it in the custom bot then.
Yeah, go on.
Fuck you.
But you do you not get your modifier on top of at least one of those though? One of the damage dice? Okay. So...
but I do get an extra d6 as well.
Well, you do get your hacks, that was what I was about...
Oh,
you really kidding? You kind of like... You summon this like demonic aura around you, and the Gardrake looks a little bit concerned, and then you sort of just start to hold up your hands and just go... and then it just sort of like fizzes on its skin. And it looks really underwhelmed. And its skin curls very slightly. And it kind of just arches an eyebrow to say, is that it?
I don't have a weapon. Shut up.
Is the Drake's armor made out of metal?
I would say so.
Then it can't make a reaction until the start of its next turn. If I recall.
Yep, I'll accept that.
It's just on it anyway.
Well, well, it's on a hit. Well, to be fair, you could actually move out of its range then because it won't be able to do opportunity attack, will it? Thanks to that.
Did that. I'm going to be leaving Delman exposed, but actually, alright, so...
Well, Delman, this is an ally, remember, and this guy's distracted by... Yeah.
If I run up towards Gwen, was she on top of a body at the moment?
No, it...
So to the body of the person that was there?
It was flung to the side. Basically, Gwen was about here when she hit, because she used her movement, she split her movement up. So she moved up, attacked, and then moved. So the guard that was in this spot was stabbed with the axe, and then the orc flung that cultist to the side here, so this is the body here. Actually, I should mark that as dead, I did forget to do that. So...
That's dead in that case then.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mark that as dead, I apologise. There we go.
Would it be reasonable to expect I would be able to run over to her and grab whatever it had in its hands?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what do I pick up?
You pick up a scimitar.
Okay. That'll be the end of my turn then.
Okay. So, it is... Let me just see... So, it's the turn of this orc over here. He is just going to say that he is waiting for you guys to move up for now, so he isn't going to do anything. So it's now Gwen's turn.
I believe I heard them shouting of running towards the cave again.
Yeah, you did hear that.
Not the original, but the later ones, when Zark and Blaine were moving. I believe Blaine shouted at me, so I'm going to move in that direction.
Okay, so where are you moving to, Gwen? So are you moving up to here?
Yes.
Okay.
Since I'm up to that guy, I'm gonna try to hit him.
Okay, go ahead. Unfortunately, that does not hit.
I end my turn.
Okay. Okay, now it's Delman's turn.
Just clarification.
Oh, sorry.
The Greataxe have a 5-foot radius of attack, right?
Oh, it's... yeah.
Like, he has to move to hit me.
Yeah, you would have to move up slightly.
Good.
Okay. Right, so is that the end of your turn, Gwen?
Yes, sorry. I said I end my turn. And
Oh,
then
sorry. Oh, no, it's okay. It's now Delman's turn.
Okay, the ground here, is it all grass or is there only sand on the ground?
I'd say that there's a few patches of sand. It's kind of as it appears. It's like it's slightly patchy.
Okay. I want to move up around the north side of this tent. And then grab a handful of sand as I go and use it to cast sleep on the cave entrance.
Okay, kind of. You can differentiate between friend and foe. That's, I believe, so. Right. Okay. So, what level are you casting this at?
I'm casting it at 2nd level.
Okay. So make you roll it on HP, isn't it? And then it's the lowest. Falls asleep first
Yes.
if it succeeds.
Oh, hang on, I'm accidentally switching tabs.
Ooh, I'll do that.
Right, there you go.
Unfortunately, that does not affect either of them.
Damn it. Is there anything in the mouth of the cave that got hit?
No, unfortunately.
Some bats fall from the ceiling.
Damn it.
I might say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to say at least that happened just so you feel a little bit better. But no, unfortunately, the guys that you were trying to hit, yeah, you can kind of like see that they kind of bat their eyes for just a moment, but they managed to shake off the effects of the spell. They were a little bit too resilient for that, I'm afraid.
Magic's still too weak.
Okay, anything else for you, Delman?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to convert my last 2 sorcery points into another 2nd level spell slot. So I basically just recovered the spell slot I just used. But then that's me done.
Okay, so let me just see which. Okay, so it's one of the orcs' turns. Unfortunately, I think I must have mislabeled him. I'll just.
Would it be that one that was next?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think it might actually. I think it's this one because I think this is the one that passed their turn a few minutes ago, number 4. So yeah, he's just going to do the same. He's just waiting with Leosin, just making sure that nothing comes up on him. Okay, it's Zach's turn.
can I shout up to the ridge in Okish? It's like, Kinsman, focus on the cave entrance. I say, pointing. If I have any other attention.
Okay, since you've done that, I would say that these 4 guys will look down towards here, and they will make a move. They'll focus that at the start of the next turn order.
And then I'm going to move up next to Gwen and punch the commander veteran guy in the face.
Go ahead.
Uh, 20 again.
That will hit.
22 even. And that's 8 damage because of rage.
That's respectable. Okay, so yeah, he's kind of still smug about missing that attack from Gwen, and then you just clock him sort of in the side of the jaw. And yeah, he wasn't quite expecting that. So, do you do anything else, Arthur? So not Arthur, Zach, beg your pardon.
I'll end my turn.
Sorry. Okay, now it's the turn of this guy over here. So, kind of seeing that this one is pretty weak, he is going to try and go for the kill of his longsword. 8 unfortunately does not hit. He's starting to look a little bit flustered now that he can't finish off this small fight, so he's going to put his back into it this time, and he does hit him with that for 7 damage. So yeah, unfortunately, he just lobs the head off this one, and he falls down dead. The orcs around him just recoil in slight sort of like slight grief, I guess, and they roar and they just point to this guy. And I'd say that these guys over here will they might not be in range actually. I'd say that Lion Grumsh might make a move next time the turn order resets. So now he is dead. Let me just take his health away. So, okay, it is now Blaine's turn.
Blaine, you're muted.
Sorry. Can I move up? I move up to him
Yeah. I mean, you can move up
and
to
I
first if
try
he's-
to grab, find his weapon.
Yeah, sure. So you move up, and if you look for a weapon once again, is going to be a scimitar.
Alright. And then I move up to the cave.
Yeah, I think that's why I didn't bother searching him.
If I can, even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, my turn.
Okay. So let me just get over here. So now it is the turn of. Yeah, it's. I think it might be this guy here. So
He wasn't in the turn order.
was he not in the turn order? Yeah. For some reason, my turn order thing's really messed up today. Yeah, the last couple of times actually, I need to have a look at it.
It's gained sentience and he's now going
Yeah,
against it.
yeah. The problem is when I actually did the turn order, for some reason it didn't delete the guys who are already in the fight. I might have to troubleshoot it when we finish this time. Yeah, I have to be honest, I'm not quite sure which one this is now. I think I marked these guys wrong. I'm honest. I'm just gonna say.
That one needs to make a move.
Yeah,
That one does as well.
Which one needs to make a move?
That one.
Yeah.
That's not acted. That's not acted. Don't think that one's acted.
Yeah, let me just mark those correctly then. So, yeah, so there's 3 of them left. So I'm gonna say that this one is 9. Yeah, that one 5 hasn't acted, and one's 3. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this one's 3 now. Okay. Yeah, as I said, this has just gone a little bit muddled up because I was trying to do this in a rush. Okay, 9 is going to. I think actually he's going to, considering that the other orc was being a bit of a dick earlier on, he is actually going to offer you his weapon, Arthur.
What's the offer?
A Greataxe.
Yeah, I'll take it.
He does actually
Use my
offer.
reaction.
He does offer out a javelin as well. He kind of offers a weapon with either hand, so whichever is better for you.
I'll take the Greataxe.
Okay, you take the Greataxe, and he pulls out the javelin. Okay, so I think that's all he's going to do. So number 5 is over here. I think he's just going to go for this cultist in front of him. .24. That will definitely hit. That will kill. So he just lobs this guy's arm off, and he just falls over to the side. The shock killing him instantly.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's the turn of the Guard Drake. So he was stunned from using his reaction, but he can still move normally, right? From Shocking Grasp?
Yeah, you can still move normal. It goes back to normal on the start of his turn.
Yeah.
Okay, Guard Drake is going to go for this guy in front with 2 attacks. First is the bite, which hits. For 5. Okay, and then he is going to make attack with his tail. That does not hit. Okay, that is going to end his turn. So finally, it's actually that orc's turn. So he is going to skiplicate the gesture and try to go in for an attack. Okay, 13 does not hit. So yeah, he is just going to be a bit stuck there. Okay, so we're back up to the top of the turn order. So as I mentioned, Zach, these 4 guys are going to make an attack against this dude here. So the orcs are going to be attacking with heavy crossbows. And I just actually need to get this guy up here. So that is a... Okay. Just, this. Okay, so that will hit the veteran. I'm rolling it from a different character, but it'll be the same stat. So that'll be 1d10, so he takes 7 from that. I'm gonna roll that twice more.
Nice.
One of them hits, is a crit. So we're going to roll 10. I'm going to roll a second 1d10 and -1. So that is going to be 16 damage. So okay. And then finally, the kobold is going to do a firebolt at them. And let me just check what firebolt is. So I actually need to check what it's. Yeah, I know it's a spell. I'm just it doesn't give me the option to just roll the damage from here. What's it? It's going to be a +4 to hit. That's what I was checking.
Okay.
Okay, so d20 +4. Unfortunately, the kobold misses. This guy is starting to look seriously haggard by all of that. So I'm going to say that at this point, because he didn't put them into the turn order, this guy is going to get his attack now, and he's going to go for Gwen, I think. So,
Why me when Zark hit him?
Oh, did Zach? Oh, yeah, Zach punched him. Well, you did also try to hit
When
him
did
as well.
start it?
I tried, but
She
he
was
did
going.
damage.
He's going to do one attack against each of you. One against Gwen, one against Zach. So you know, he's being fair.
Sorry, not sorry, Zark.
Okay, 24 will hit Gwen,
Unless you're
Yes.
asking. Yeah, 25.
and +3 hits Gwen for 8 damage. That's the first player damage of the session, actually.
Yay. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll take a lot soon.
Yeah, I am aware that we need to finish quite soon, so I'm going to try and wrap this up in the next as soon as I can. Right, so I think he's also going to attack Zach as well. So it's 5. 20 will hit Zach, I believe.
No, it won't.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I think it'd be. Yeah, just go keep on going like this. 8 damage to you. Actually, it's slashing. Is that reduced by your rage?
It is.
Okay, that's 4 then.
+4, okay.
Well, because it's half aim. Okay, so it's now back up to the top of the turn order, and it is this orc's turn. He is going to swing in at the Guardrake once again. Okay, that does not hit, unfortunately. It's now Arthur's turn.
Is this one still just ambling around?
Yeah, he was kind of just stood near to Delaman, wasn't he? I think he's kind of just looking out, like these guys. Just waiting for you guys to move up.
I'm gonna run back down towards the Guardrake down here.
Okay,
And I'm going to swing in with the Greataxe.
go ahead. Do you
Sake.
do you know? Oh, okay. So I'm going to say, unfortunately, with a nat 1, as you go to swing in with the Greataxe, the guard drake bats it away, and it's gone to here.
Not used to using a heavy weapon like that, I guess.
Nope. I wish I could have an offhand strike just to slap it. Well, that's the end of my turn.
Okay. I just have to. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's this orc over here. He's actually going to drag Leosin with him, and he's preparing to move up now. Okay, it's now Gwen's turn.
Sorry, going to try the same again as last time and hitting the guy in front of me.
Go ahead. Unfortunately, that does not hit.
Dang it.
Anything else?
I get a very annoyed look, but I end my turn.
Fair enough. Okay, Delman's turn.
Alright, which of the two is looking pretty beat up, did you say?
Out of who, sorry?
The veteran and the Drake.
The
The
Drake.
veteran up here.
The Drake hasn't taken any. Well, no damage from you. The veteran is looking pretty. He's starting to look pretty worn down.
Okay. I'm gonna move up a little, and I can cast Ray of Frost because it doesn't have material components. I'll cast Ray of Frost at him.
Okay, go on. That will hit. For 3 damage. Okay.
3 damage, and oh, his speed is reduced by 10, but it's not moving anyway.
Okay. So yeah, he is feeling slightly chillier after that. And also his ends of his fingers are a little bit nippy. Okay. Anything else for you, Delman?
Nope.
Okay. So which one did I? It's 10, 15. Definitely marked. Ah, yeah, it was this guy here. So this orc is. Let me just check how much movement he has. Yeah, he'll be able to move up to that location with the others. There we go. That's going to be his turn. It's now Zark's turn.
I'm going to do the same again and try and punch this guy in the face.
You go ahead.
23.
That will hit.
So another 8 damage.
Okay. Yeah, he is starting to look seriously hurt right now.
Alright, I'll end my turn with that.
Okay. So, yeah, this guy here is going to attack the orc just to the side of him. Okay, that will hit. And he will do damage. Okay, I think he already took. Yeah, he took a. So, yeah. He sort of like he swings in from the side after this one already took a couple of hits from the Gardrake, and he just falls over dead. They're starting to clean up shop over here. Might not be fast enough. Okay. It is now Blaine's turn.
I move up and I gonna hit a veteran with a scimitar.
Go ahead. That does not hit.
End my turn.
Okay, turn of this guy here. So he is going to. Actually, he can. He's going to go to this spot here, and he's going to shout over towards the guard drake and goes, "Stop gawping in the finner and come and fight me!" So I would say that the guard drake, for some reason, who has just been ambling along, is almost as if I've gone to attack with him, is like looking towards the orc, and he's going to engage him, even though he will probably take an opportunity attack from Zark at the start of the next turn order. So now it is the turn of... Oops, Daisy. I think it's... Yeah, it's this guy here. So he is seeing another one of his comrades go down. He's going to move up to the side of the guard drake. As he does so, he's going to shout to you, Arthur, "Go to cave! We take care of this!" And he's going to swing in with his Greataxe. 23, which will hit. And yeah, swings in for 13 damage. Not bad, not bad.
Fun using a Greataxe, isn't it?
Hmm. So he just brings it down on the guard drake's back, and yeah, its attention is squarely on this guy right now. So
Greatexes are great.
it is really great. It's fantastic,
mhm.
actually. Yes, yeah, yes, I know the joke. I understand the joke. It isn't lost on me. Let's move on.
Also
Okay.
has more meaning in fact that mine's gone away.
Well,
Lost
yeah, I mean, it's great when you can hit with it. Anyway, it's now the guard drake's turn. So, feeling very aggrieved at the sort of the unmitigated audacity of this guy, he's going to return the favor and he's going to make a couple of attacks. 22 does hit. D+3 for 8 damage on him. Alright, yep, yeah, that was quite a nasty hit. He kind of, after being quite triumphant in hitting him, like the bite makes him wince, and he's going to attack once again with his tail. 15 will hit. For 5 damage. Okay, so with that second attack, it actually, the tail strikes him straight in his chest, and he coughs up a lot of blood, which the guard drake, onto the guard drake, which it presumes to lick off its face. It's going to enjoy killing him, I think. Okay, so top of the turn order. I'm going to say at this point, the rope that Lai used for you earlier, Grumph is going to slide down it now, and he's going to go into the camp and just shout, "Come and get me, beasties! I want a good fight!" This immediately gets the attention of these two guys here, who haven't really done so much so far, so they're going to move up to engage Grumph, as well as these two guys. Some more... I'm going to say that these 4 guys over here are going to attack the veteran once again. So I'm just going to have to roll some heavy crossbows, so I'm just going to roll them all to hit. 1, 2, 3. So none of them hit, unfortunately, this time. And then I'm going to roll for the kobold, who is 1d20 plus 4, who does actually hit. And I believe it's 1d10 for fire bolts.
Yes.
Okay, that does 7 damage to him. Okay.
That's what level the kobold is.
Shush.
So yeah, with that, he actually lets out of pain as that attack hits him. This is really starting to get to him. I'm going to say as well that this guard drake, Beck, sort of taking the challenge of this guy, is actually going to run out of position. Oops, I didn't mean to rotate you, Zach. Is going to make a run, so you can make an attack of opportunity if you like, Zach, as the guard Drake passes you.
Can I attempt to trip him as he runs past?
I'm going to say... yeah, I'm just trying to think what that would be. I suppose... No, I'm going to say opportunity attack on this occasion.
Do I have my opportunity attacks?
It's just a regular attack, I believe, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
8 again with my rage.
8 again with your rage. Okay, let me just track this guy's health, just in case he's felt one later. Okay, so yeah, you just kind of like punch it. You kind of like, almost like punch it in the arse as it goes past, which actually sends it going faster towards this guy. He didn't even get mad, he's taking it as encouragement to go and do his best, you know? Wow, that could be taken out of context so easily, so don't do that. Okay, but yeah, he is out of your hair for the time being, and it is now Orc's turn again. So let's see which one of these guys are actually still alive at this point. Pretty sure one of these is. Oh yeah, it's this one here. Yeah, this guy. Okay, he's going to make an attack against the guard Drake again. 18 will hit for another 10 damage. Okay, this guard Drake is now looking less enthusiastic than it was before. It is not having a good time with that attack, and it's now Arthur's turn. So remember, the Greataxe is still there, just to let you know.
Sorry, move 5 feet to the side diagonally. And given nothing happened, I'm just going to grab the axe.
Yeah, no one's going to get into. No, yeah, these guys are holding them off for you, so yeah, opportunity.
Let's get to the. So I'm going to go up to the behind the guard over there.
Okay, go on.
That's with my dash action, sadly.
Fair enough.
I better keep going.
Actually, I did forget to attack with the veteran, but I'm going to say he took so much damage he kind of got knocked off balance by that, but never mind.
Why does he have something that allows attack when you come into range?
Oh, no. What I meant is at the start of the turn order, I forgot to attack with him. But yeah, I'm just acknowledging that I forgot, but yeah, go ahead. I'm just going to say that he's that beat up.
Nothing else.
Yeah. Fair enough. So now Orc's turn. Yeah, so it's one of the Orcs that's with Leosin. He is actually going to. Can he get in range to attack? You guys are in the way, aren't you? I don't think you can quite. Nah, it'd be 35 feet together. So, oh, actually, no. He can kind of scrunch up at the sides here, literally on the edge of his movement. He's going to make a Greataxe attack against this veteran. 22 hits. Yeah, sort of like this guy is not having a good time. He takes the attack in the back. He screams like there's no tomorrow, but he is in the fight, albeit barely at this point. He's on death's door, I'd say. Okay, Gwen's turn.
Another attempt.
Go on. I'm sorry, that doesn't hit.
At this point, I'm not surprised I'm not taking anything.
Oh, no. Do you have anything else?
No. None of the allies I can see around me are hurt, so no.
Okay. It's Dapman's turn.
Okay. I'm
first
just-
time.
I'm just gonna dash into the cave, and I absolutely have to go right now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. I've
Yeah,
gotta go.
yeah. So I was trying to get us to the cave if we go, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that. Yeah. Okay. Right. So that is. I'm going to take that as the end of Dolan's turn because he's gone. So. Right. So it's the turn of this guy. I don't think he can quite. Actually, no. He can get around the side here. That is him. So he's going to get around this guy. He's looking. Even with his experience, he's looking pretty scared now with this many people surrounding him. But I don't think he's going to be feeling scared for too much longer. Actually, no, a bit longer because that misses. He's genuinely wondering at this point how he's still alive.
God.
Okay, it's now Zark's turn. Go ahead, Zark. Kill him.
Punch him again.
Where you getting that one?
I hate this game.
Oh, wow.
So with what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people surrounding him and four firing him, he's still alive. He knows he's gonna die, but he knows that he went out like a badass.
Yep.
Okay, so anything else for you, Zach?
No, I can't do anything else.
Okay,
I'm my
so
turn.
yeah, turn of this guy over here. So he is going to now focus attention on this guy at his diagonal. So he's going to do long swords. 10 does not hit, but he does have a second attack. 12 does not hit either. So that is it for him. Blaine's turn.
I gonna try again.
Just need to move that up here, actually.
Hey, someone hit.
Yep, that will hit. Okay, you just stab him through the stomach, Blaine, and he just, as you remove the blade, he falls. Yeah, he kind of falls forward. You have to step back very slightly, but he's dead now. As you do that, these two orcs at the side of you going to shout, "Go into cave! We cover!"
What about what's his face? What's his name? I've forgotten again.
Yeah, you say Leosin, and he just says,
Leosin.
"Don't worry, Johns will get him." Kind of pointing to this guy. Right, so do you have anything else to say, Arthur? Just before we move on?
No.
Okay, number 9 is this guy here, actually. So he's currently tangling with this guard drake. He is going to attempt to make an attack. Unfortunately, no dice on that one. So moving on to 5 is so this guy here. So quite like the veteran, he knows that he's about to die. So he just lets out one final war scream, and he's going to attack the guard drake in front of him once again. Unfortunately, he whiffs at the last moment. Okay, so now it is the guard drake's turn, and he is going to try and finish off his prey and go for a bite attack, which unfortunately does hit for 5 damage. So I do believe, yeah. So like, as this orc is just regretting that he couldn't go out in a blaze of glory, it just bites into his neck as he is about to pull out back from his last strike, and yeah, he just goes down. And then he goes to, let me just get this, actually, yep, the other guy isn't range him. So he then is going to kind of shift its body weight to hit the other guy with a tail attack. Which hits. Okay, for 5 damage. So, yeah, once again, it kind of strikes this orc in the side. He is looking pretty beat up. He's probably not long for this world either. Okay, turn of this orc, he is going to swing in with the Guardrake, or with his Greataxe, which does not hit, so what's the consequence? Okay, Arthur's turn.
Well, given that guy's dead, is there anything of immediate use I could see on his body that I could grab?
Okay, so on the veteran, you can see that he was using a long sword. He also had a short sword on his belt and a heavy crossbow on his back. Roll 1d10 to see how many bolts he finds. If you want to go for the crossbow.
Oh, sorry, that's wrong bloody thing. Sorry. Ignore that. So just 1d10.
1d10, yeah.
Fuck. That was good.
Yeah,
I was only 1-2 instead of 2 2s.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That you can roll a 22 and a d10. So, are you taking the heavy crossbow?
Yeah, I'd say the heavy crossbow. And I'd grab the...
You can take more than one weapon, I'm not going to limit you there. So,
in that case, I'd probably grab the long sword as well.
Alright.
I'd say the belt that was attached to it, so I've got something to actually attach it to me with.
Yep, okay. Do you do anything else, Arthur?
I'll look around everyone. Move inside. I'm gonna start moving towards the cave.
Oh,
then.
let me mark him as dead, by the way. Got to do that. Boop. Okay, so Arthur is in the cave, so Orc number 4, this guy just shouts to this guy, "Get puny scholar man in cave!" Okay! Okay, it's now Gwen's turn.
I'm guessing Arthur would have seen that, but is there a keyring on the dead guy?
What was that, sorry, Gwen?
Is there an obvious keyring on the dead guy?
Is there an obvious keyring on the dead guy? No, not on this guy.
Like the one in front of us. In that case, I'm just running after him. Also Delmon.
Okay. I'd say you can move into the cave from there, I think that's 30 feet. Yeah, you should be fine to get into the cave. Okay, Delmon's turn. Delmon is actually... Sorry, I keep again, Delmon is gone. Doesn't matter.
You wasted a while for an answer.
It's just like, Delmon, why don't you speak to me? Okay, this guy just... Yeah, this guy is going to...
Look for his staff beforehand, so...
What was that, sorry?
Delman did say he was going to look for his staff beforehand, so...
Yeah, so this orc is just going to stand at the entrance. They're basically trying to make sure that no one comes up and follows you, so... now is Zark's turn. So I assume you're following...
Yeah, I'll go into the cave and immediately try and look around for my weapon.
Okay, I'm going to... So if you go into the cave and look for your weapon, like at the cave entrance, you don't really see anything at all. It's just a big empty space. I'm going to wait until Blaine actually gets in it before I switch scene. Whose turn it actually is now, as a matter of fact, if you end your sack.
Yeah, I do, and I lose my rage because I've not attacked anything.
Okay. So, Blaine, I assume you go into the cave as well?
Yep.
Right, okay, so because you guys are moving out of this area, I'm not going to continue the combat. Combat is effectively over at this point. And I'm actually just going to quickly switch the map. We are going to be ending very shortly. Just to clarify.
I'd say as we're going in, I'd like to hand Blaine the heavy crossbow and the 2 bolts.
And I would like to do produce flame. Just have the light in my hand.
Right, okay, I'm going to say also, as you guys are running in, John's finally gets his act together, and he brings Leosin into the cave, and he stands guard with the other orc. I'm just going to copy the tokens over, and then we'll just go onto this map here. Okay, so let's bring you over. And I just need to reveal a little bit more so you can see your tokens. Okay, there you go. And you will be able to see a little bit in front of you as well, so let me just go ahead and... yeah, 60 feet. Yeah, thank you for that, Doom. I was just about to see how much that was, so... yeah, you basically see this. Okay, so you guys are in the cave, and I'm actually going to say that this is the point the session is going to end for tonight, if that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
Oh.
I guess.
Another 2 hours. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to end it just because Delman's gone. But yep, we're in the we're in the cave now. So yeah, I'm hoping that wasn't too haphazard and you guys all enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll speak to you next time.
Bye bye.